Hello and welcome to Caching Waves. This is your Elliott Wave update on compound. I've gotten a lot of requests on this one the last couple days, so I wanted to give you my updates on that. Now real quick on the daily for the larger view, I believe we started in the middle of a correction. We have an A, B, C up for our B wave and 5 clean waves to the downside to complete our C wave correction. After that, we had a 5-wave impulse above previous resistance. We're now in the support area, and we're going to go down to the smaller time frames here. As you can see, we came a little bit deeper than ideal, just past the 618 retracement there, but we held above the 786, at which point I think the best labeling for this is a leading diagonal, and then after that, this whole area is a expanded flat. Now, a couple of things to pay attention to here. Just wanted to show you, I did try and count this as a leading diagonal. When we made our last move up, I was like, maybe we just extended a little bit higher and our waves got bigger. But the more I look at this, the more I disagree with it. Labeling it this way, the fact we came outside our boundary line and the fact that this looks like a flat A, B, C, 335. And as per Elliott Wave rules, we can't have a flat as a wave in a leading diagonal. It has to be single, double, or triple zigzags, and that just doesn't fit unless you're really stretching and this is your A, B, C, which does not look correct to me. So I'm going with this pattern. We had single zigzag here, had a double zigzag here, and then a single zigzag here. So it makes the most sense as a leading diagonal. Now it is possible this could be counted as a WXY and we need to come further to the downside, but based on this previous impulse, I think the probabilities have us moving to the upside after this resolves. So knowing that, where does that leave us? One thing, if you check my previous videos, when we saw this 3-wave pattern and we came up to this expanded flat area, which is between the 1.236 and 1.618 as invalidation, we were anticipating this move. This was our primary count. You're welcome to go back and check. The only issue was I was trading this as a running flat and I wanted to protect this low. And I said if I get stopped out, it's most likely an expanded flat. But for trading purposes, it didn't make sense to hold on past that low. So as this goes, I expect this to turn into 5 waves to the downside on the short term, like so. And I believe this is the wave 1 and 2 of a larger third wave to the upside. So for trading purposes, I haven't really posted much about it because we're kind of in no man's land. There's no good trade setup. I was trying to squeeze how could this be a WXY, and it is possible, but same thing, nothing concrete in the count. So I'm anticipating 5 waves to the downside here. I pulled from the bottom to the top of the wave 1 for my retracements, which is between 45.49 and 42.73. Would be the ideal area. That'd be right between the 50 and the 618. I also, let me go down to the hourly. I also labeled out a 5-wave impulse where we'd expect that to be, and that would be 42.03 if this turns into 5 waves. And you can see we're on the 5th wave of our 3rd wave still. Now we have come through the 1.618, but that does tend to happen when you get these liquidation events. It is possible we don't even break below this low for our 3rd wave as a truncation. Then we come up for a 4th and we just like double, triple bottom here. So we have to keep that in mind. I've seen it before in a lot of sell-offs. You see it in Bitcoin when there's liquidation events. It makes it more frustrating to analyze when you're dealing with those factors, but that's kind of the way it is in crypto. We have to deal with the information we're given, and at this point, I think this is the most ideal way to count this. The way I was able to get this as a 5 wave, again, it's kind of ugly and there's no ideal. But if you go down to the 15-minute, we have a micro 1, 2, you can see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I checked, there's no overlap. 4, and then an ending diagonal. There is the rule of alternation there where we had a short wave 2 and a more deep wave 4, and our ending diagonal looks good. And then this is an A, B, C as a flat. And then we're working on our 5 waves to the downside, but it's ugly. Like it's not pretty, right? But going off the previous waves, the most, because we have a 3, 3 here, the most sense is we do have 5 waves down. So I'm not interested in a trade right now just because everything I explained to you, there's nothing clean about this count. But areas of interest for me where I will be taking a long pretty much 100% is in this area here. And I would adjust these counts and consider it could be a Y wave if we break above this wave 4 invalidation here when we cross over with the 1. So I'll just mark that down. That's invalidation for the impulse. Reason being, wave 4 cannot overlap the wave 1 here unless we're making some sort of diagonal. And if we go to linear, usually we take the 618 retracement of this wave, which is right here, as invalidation, or at least switching probabilities to the upside. But I'm giving a little more leeway just because of this liquidation here. So I'm going to set an alarm on here so I can reevaluate this again if we overlap here, because then I might have to look at some other alternatives. But until then, expecting to grind down here over the next week or two and possibly just make double bottoms. And where I would really switch probabilities is if we break this wave too high. I wish I had more for you on compound, guys, and keep in mind it did do exactly what we wanted in previous videos. Pretty much exactly what we wanted. The issue is the waves aren't clean, so we can't really lean into anything at this time. But good news is, when this finally does resolve, we have targets way up here, as long as this count stays intact. All right, guys, so make sure to subscribe if you want updates for this. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. But as of right now, too tough of a count to try and lean into any sort of trade setup. I am interested down in these areas. Once this resolves itself a little bit. But I'm keeping a close eye on this pretty much every day, even if you don't see me posted. I'm just posting when it seems like a relevant time. All right, guys, thanks for watching.